Plotnikov in. Hofstra Keys to the Game brought to you by Cal Chevrolet in Valley Stream. Will?
Well, for Hofstra, it's all about high post proficiency. Elon will be running a 2-3, a matchup 2-3 all game. So working out of the high post can be crucial for Hofstra today. And Elon, not a very good rebounding team. They're going to have to do a much better job on the glass if they're going to try and steal a road win here in Hempstead.
Well, let's introduce you to the third member of our team, Gabe Zoda.
5 seniors were celebrated here at the MAC before tip-off. Tyler Thomas, D-Stone Dubar, Jaco Fritz, Bryce Washington, and Miles Wilmoth will all celebrate for their collegiate careers. And for head coach Speedy Claxton, he said it's a little bit bittersweet for him, obviously celebrating what these players have done here, but also a little bit sad to see them go. I talked to German Plotnikov before today's game just about the effects of some of these seniors. He said the work ethic of Tyler Thomas, he took and exemplified, put that into his daily routine. And also Bryce Washington, his defensive tenacity, he took that away from him. So it's fair to say that these seniors have left their mark on this program. Guys?
Oh, no question about that, Gabe. As Hofstra wearing their home white uniforms, tops and bottoms, trimmed with blue. Elon in their road maroons, trimmed with gold. Billy Taylor, second-year head coach. Speedy Claxton, third-year head man for the Pride. Final game here at the MAC for Hofstra. Tip is up, we're underway, and it's the Phoenix who get the first touch, but it's the Pride who get the first ball.
And right out of the gate, we're going to get a look at this Elon zone. Try and get a look at Hofstra's strategy to try and attack it. Who are they going to put towards the high post? And see if they can draw out the big man, Sam Sherry, out from under the basket.
Hofstra coming off a win against Drexel Thursday night. A gutsy game, Will. I mean, that was as physical as you could get, and a huge one as they find Jaco Fritz inside with an easy little touch.
And that is perfect zone offense. Get it to Tyler Thomas in the high post. Work the high-low game to Jaco Fritz for the easy bucket. Excellent start for Hofstra offensively.
Well, that's exactly, Will, what all the coaching staff was preaching before the game of what they want to do. Don't be standing around against this Elon group. Here's McKinnon out of Australia, too strong, gets it right back to him after Fritz batted away. And I think there's going to be a quick shot clock change here.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Dan, and when we talked to assistant coach Tom Parada before the game, he said, could you, against this Elon zone, take 45 threes? Yeah, you could. but those aren't the best shots, and that means that Elon's probably doing a good job in getting into Hofstra into what they want. They want to be able to penetrate the zone and look to pass in the zone as well to finish around the basket where Elon really struggles defensively.
TK Simpkins, the sophomore, 12 points per game. Young group here. Nick Dorn, the freshman, pulls up a three and it swirls home. Elon's up by 1.
Almost looked like a broken possession there for Elon, but Nick Dorn, end of the shot clock, decided to take a deep three. He's a 37% three-point shooter. He can knock that down.
Jaquan Carlos hitting a cutting D-Stone Dubar, but knocked out of bounds. And stay with the Pride.
Well, Hofstra went with a double back screen action down low, throwing a lob to Dubar, but a good job by Elon reading that, getting back and getting the deflection. Bad bounce for the Phoenix, though, as Hofstra able to retain.
These inbound plays usually so good for the Pride. They're going to take their time with plenty on the shot clock. Jaquan Carlos leading the conference in helpers this year. Fires a bullet underneath, still tapped in. Thomas has it, 7 on the timer, and taken away by the Phoenix. Dorn to Harrell. McKinnon, everyone getting a touch here. Nick Dorn. Sherry. Way out there, and it's an air ball, goes right into the hands of the 4th leading scorer in the nation, but his no-look pass hits a cheerleader. She's all right.
Unfortunately, not a member of the 5 basketball players on the court, so Elon will take over, but just a little discombobulated early on. The spacing, not really there. Of course, the spacing's a little bit different when you're going against zone, but in transition, no real excuse for that one, as Hofstra's going to try and get another stop.
Hofstra coming out on that man defense like they normally do. And they have done under the tenure of Speedy Claxton. McKinnon back to Dorn, catch and shoot, but contested. It's short, and Plotnikov pulls in the board. Hofstra averaging just under 75 points per game, as is Elon. Both high-scoring teams. Tyler Thomas, and off the mark on his first 3 attempt. Simpkins taking it to the basket, and a foul comes. I believe he'll be on the floor.
And Simpkins, he's a good slasher. He's not a great outside shooter, but averaging over 12 points per game. He likes to attack the basket. He's quick off the dribble. Gave Thomas a nice little crossover, and Thomas definitely got him on that left arm to get to the line for two, where Simpkins is 72% for the year.
Replay is brought to you by the Lantec Group, as Simpkins gets another friendly role here. TK Simpkins, a transfer from Northwest Florida State College. He's been in double figures 6 of his last 8. Had a tough outing in their loss up at Northeastern. This is always a tough trip for these southern teams, Will. You have to come up and play up in Boston usually, Northeastern, then make your way down to Hofstra or vice versa.
Yeah, it's a long trip. First of all, you're playing pretty far away from your home arena, and Northeastern is also a team that's been playing better of late as well.
Dubar was patient with it, as is Thomas now. Catch and shoot from Carlos. That's going to be missed as well, as the Pride come out here missing their first 2 3-point attempts.
Yeah, Dan, it's too much standing around. No looking into the high post, as Carlos with a little bit of a settle from 3 there.
And you saw it in the very first play, Will, where they got that touch right in that mid area and able to find Jaco Fritz. Haven't scored since. 5-0 run here for the Phoenix, and make it a 7-0 run for Elon.
Yeah, this all started on the defensive end for Elon, doing a good job slowing Hofstra down, but that's what Max McKinnon can do. Leading scorer on this Phoenix team.
Carlos bounce pass inside, looking for Dubar, knocked away. Still 19 on the timer.
Take another look, as McKinnon's a good 3-point shooter, so Dubar with the hard closeout, but that's something that McKinnon's actually struggled with a little bit this year.
Off the inbound, Dubar misses. Offensive board for Fritz with the fresh 20. Carlos for 3, it's good.
Second chance points against this zone are going to be huge for the Hofstra Pride today. Jaco Fritz creating extra opportunities, and that time that's a good looking stroke from Jaquan Carlos.
Now, Elon not the best rebounding team in the conference. Out of their 15 games, they have only won the rebounding battle 3 times. Happened in their last contest, and were even once in their big win down at UNCW. This will be Pride ball.
Yeah, and this is, again, the good extra feed for Carlos knocking down the 3 ball. I mean, look at the numbers as well. They are Elon is 339th in the nation in defensive rebounding rate, and when it comes to defending the paint as well, they are 348th in the nation in paint points against, with 360 some odd Division I teams.
Thomas from the stripe is off the mark. Harrell with the board. Kendall Campbell, the freshman, just came in, and nice good take to the basket once again from TK Simpkins.
That's not a good job by Hofstra getting back on defense. Looks like a little bit late matching up, and Simpkins is way too quick. He can get to the bucket in a blink.
Fritz here, top of the key. Instead, he takes it, puts it on the ground, blocked by Campbell, stays with Hofstra, and that will be our first break. So Hofstra jumped out quickly, 2-0 lead, but since
of course they sit in their zone, they give some of the top teams in the league trouble, and UNCW learned that the hard way.
Fritz in the lane, and traffic opens up the bank.
Oh, it was a broken play. Dubar, a little bit of a miscommunication, but Fritz, that's the advantage. Jaco Fritz has the advantage down low for sure, and he's going to have some of those looks around the basket today. He's got to convert, and he did on that one.
Well, like we were saying before, you know, this conference, it seems like this year more than any is just so wide open, 1 through 14. Nice little backdoor cut, and mishandling it was Campbell. It's just so wide open, right? Charleston has a chance to win the conference, so does UNCW, as JC putting on the moves. The oohs and ahs of the fans. Nice cross-court pass right back to Carlos, and he connects on another 3.
Well, Dan, how do you beat the zone? You beat it with skip passes. One skip from the right to the left, and then Plotnikov returns the favor, and Carlos, who's been struggling a little bit shooting outside the last few games, he's looked good early on in that department.
You obviously know what he can do in terms of helpers. 19 last Saturday. in one of those truly special performances you'll see in the CAA, breaking a conference record in assists. Well, I mean, you were on the call for that one. He probably could have had 25.
It was incredible because the passes, none of the passes were easy. They were all in tight windows as well.
Plotnikov missing on the three, another offensive board. Tyler Thomas contested triple. No, Dubar is there for the quick little touch.
Well, I think you can see in that possession specifically why Elon is 339th in the nation in defensive rebounding. Not a great box out there by Campbell to start, and then Dubar is just, there's nobody home there for the easy putback.
Both teams will go back to the bench in a second as Irvin connects it on a triple. His first shot attempt since coming off the bench. Right back up to 12-12.
That's what Zach Irvin can do off the bench. A 39% three-point shooter, that is his role. This Elon team loves to shoot the ball from outside the arc, and that's the way that they can stay in games and win games. They're going to shoot a lot of threes.
Led the team last year in threes. Here's another big three-point shooter in Tyler Thomas, who misses. Dubar again, a man amongst boys underneath.
Hofstra's getting good looks, but Dubar he's a mismatch as a 6'8" wing. It's just not a prototype you see very much of in the CAA. And so that time, the offensive glass is going to be there for Dubar all day long, and he's already there. That's his second one.
He has put up some big numbers this year. No question has been the MVP this season for this group, especially the beginning of conference play. And you can say Plotnikov has been their guy since then. And, of course, Tyler Thomas just been the steady force every time.
22-point per game guy's been pretty good.
So many key contributors to this year's Pride squad. Lobs it up, and D-Stone puts it in.
I hope the people at home saw what Jaquan Carlos just did there. He motioned for Fritz to come get it for a ball screen to draw the eyes of the zone and said, "No, I'm actually going to throw the lob to Dubar cutting." That is why Jaquan Carlos is special. That play right there.
You've heard from the former NBA point guard. That's his head coach. He has NBA-like passing, no question. Irvin, another three. This one catches and goes. Back to a one-point contest. Things starting to open up here at the MAC.
And it's coming off a little bit of a bad bounce or a loose ball that was corralled in the high post. And Irvin, when he gets a catch-and-shoot look, he's going to knock it down.
Thomas puts it on the deck, pulls back. He's off the mark. Fritz is there with another offensive board and another 2 points. 6 points.
It is an assault on the offensive glass for the Hofstra Pride in these first 9 minutes. And certainly those easy buckets have been there. Dubar and Fritz have done an excellent job down low.
Here's Pratt with Plotnikov in his face. Thomas is the one who gets the ball. JC, another pass underneath German Plotnikov. This is just getting too easy for Jaquan Carlos.
Well, Elon had a man down behind the play, so it was 5-on-4, but you got to protect the basket in that situation. If you're Elon, you got to see ball and you got to protect the paint. They didn't protect the paint, and Plotnikov was all alone, but a great feed from Carlos.
He only has 2 official assists, but it seems like every pass he has made has contributed to something. This will be Pride ball when we return. Game starting to open up here. Pride have hit 4 of their last 5. Look at this one. Truly special. Dubar right to the rack. Pride up by 5. Colin Curtin, special assistant to the head coach, brought this up after the Charleston loss, having that real self-evaluation, what they need to do, and said, so many years we always saw this team of being offense leading their defense. Well, this year it's kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah, defensively they've been really strong, and while they're certainly a good offensive team, they don't have the plethora of weapons that they had last year, just the sheer number of them. So, but they've adjusted well into what they are this year, and they've done a great job, and that's why they're in the position they're in.
Tyler Thomas, sidestep triple, it goes.
Well, Dan, it was only a matter of time before Tyler Thomas started to get going. He was getting good looks from the outside, and that time he gets it to go. I think, even though he's 1 for 6, I think we could see him start to heat up.
Hofstra goes to the bench here, and they bring in Bryce Washington, one of the seniors for today, and Silas Sunday, who, of course, we highlighted earlier, career-high 8 points in Thursday night's game. And they're going to get him on a foul here. What do you think, Will?
I guess. He was physical with Sherry down low, but let's take another look at that 3. A nice little shot fake from Tyler Thomas. And How do you beat a zone on the perimeter? You ball fake, and that's what Thomas did a great job of there.
Knocked out, last touched off the Pride, so Zach Urban will possess here. Tyler Thomas decided to take that extra year, stay here at Hofstra, more than 2,000 points in his career, 7th active scorer in all Division I basketball. Been just a great addition for Speedy Claxton in his time. Here's Sherry. McKinnon catch and shoot 3 and hits off the back iron. Dubar there with the board. Keystone coming on the deck and off to Thomas, and now Carlos. Watch out with JC up high here. Carlos to the basket instead. Boy, that was fancy.
Yeah, it was great to see Carlos penetrating the zone, but won't come up in the box score. Give it a little assist to Silas Sunday with a nice seal down low.
It's a good thing that you don't do stats here. You might just be giving assists to everybody.
I know. I have a very different idea of stats in my mind. You can get a look at it here. Watch this seal by Silas Sunday. And Carlos with a nice finish. And we talked to special assistant to the head coach, Colin Curtin, before the game, and he said it's such a misconception when you're going against the zone that, all right, now we're going to have to shoot a ton of threes. No, not necessarily. It actually is, the zone offense is way better when you look to attack, and that's what Carlos did a great job of there.
Look, everyone knows Hofstra can shoot the 3-ball. 10th most three-pointers made in the entire nation. 19th in attempts. The Pride here on a 9-0 run, opening to a double-figure lead in the first half.
But defensively, they've done a better job, too.
NBA range 3 from Keyshawn Robinson. And that's off the mark. It's very high on Robinson, and what he'll bring here for Hofstra in the future is an air ball from McKinnon, a very rare air ball. Looks a little bit off so far here in the first.
Yeah, you could see it when he was taking that shot. It's almost like he was shooting on the way down a little bit. Something clearly wasn't right for McKinnon on that one, but Hofstra's done a nice job on him so far, and after the hot shooting start for Elon, no points in the last 3.5 minutes. So defensively, Hofstra has really tightened up, and that sparked this run.
Pride shooting 52% from the field, holding Elon right now to 33%. Plotnikov returns to the floor. Sunday sets the screen. Robinson, who will run the ball handling duties with Carlos out. Here's Bryce. Back to Thomas. Nice skip pass, catch and shoot 3. Plotnikov from downtown.
Just phenomenal offense, and that's a part of Tyler Thomas's game that has really improved his passing as the year has gone along. And Plotnikov, I mean, to say he's efficient this year is honestly the understatement of the year with the season he's put together shooting the basketball.
The Pride are 9-2 since he's been in the starting lineup. Good help defense there. Ends up earning a travel violation for the Phoenix. It's a 13.
Hofstra, and that, of course, this is what Elon does. I'm not saying they should get out of their zone, but they don't play much man at all. But it's a tough matchup against Hofstra specifically, the way that their offense runs.
Robinson with the rock. Back to Washington. Here's a big 3, and Keyshawn Robinson from way downtown.
From the logo.
Boy, they are so high on this kid and what he can do. We've seen flashes of it, Will, but no question, definitely the guard of the future here on Long Island.
He is, and as a freshman, and his body's going to fill out a little bit. I mean, look where he shoots this from once he gets it back from Bryce Washington. Is just in front of the logo. If McKinnon isn't going to respect that he can shoot from way outside, Robinson has shown all year he has no problem taking very deep threes, and he can hit them.
Averaging just about 8 minutes a game in conference play. And a good response on the other end from the Phoenix as TK Simpkins is having himself a game. That stops a big scoring drought for Elon.
Simpkins only a 24% three-point shooter, so I think Hofstra will live with that, but a good shot from him.
Thomas, the fadeaway, and fouled. In the act of shooting, he'll shoot a pair of free throws here.
And against the zone, Dan, when Hofstra's coaching staff elects to put Tyler Thomas into that high post role, you could clearly tell that Kendall Campbell, as the 5 in the game now, that's not something he's really comfortable doing, guarding a guy like Tyler Thomas. And so he doesn't know, whether I stay back, but you can't stay back because Thomas is so lethal of a shooter. So he was kind of in between and said, oh, well, Thomas is going to shoot, so I have to come out more aggressively, and he hits him on the elbow. So it's all about picking your poison for Hofstra against the Elon zone, and that time they left Thomas into that mid-range shot, and if those are going to be there, Thomas is going to shoot it every single time.
Especially against a volume shooter like Tyler Thomas, more than 2,000 points in his career. And no question, he'll be getting a lot of talks, play pro next year, whether that's the NBA, the G League, overseas. You'll be seeing him play a year from now, somewhere professionally.
Absolutely.
Throws a bad pass here as a miss by Simpkins. Boy, Simpkins has been all over the place here. Best player on the floor for the Phoenix, no question. Dubar makes them pay.
Well, Simpkins is out of the play due to him going down, and it leads to another 5-on-4 break. And man, Hofstra has done a great job with that. The extra feed to the corner and Dubar for 3, an offensive clinic.
His jump shot and that security that he has on the court, the more playing time he's got, the more comfortable he's been on the court. And German Plotnikov, he's just happy that he's kept the same approach every single game. No matter what, whether he's making or missing shots, he's kept the same approach, and he's been able to do a really good job at that.
No question, the guy that they just refer to as G has had that impact. And Plotnikov will pick up a foul here right after, right on cue.
Well, but you look at it's incredible because Plotnikov is shooting 60% from the floor. He's not a guy that shoots a ton of shots around the rim either. 60% from the floor, 52% from 3. That's 25 of 48, not a small number of attempts either. He is the epitome of efficiency.
Native out of Belarus, second year here at Hofstra. Simpkins gets it to fall again. It's really been all him at the offense right now. 9 of the 20 points are TK Simpkins.
He's a good ball player. He's really impressed me, and likes that little mid-range jumper too.
Coming off a tough 6-point outing in their loss Thursday night against Northeastern. Did have a shot that actually took the lead for them, or excuse me, tied the game for them at 55 with a minute left. Then they eventually took the lead, but fouled on a 3-point attempt. 3 free throws went. They were unable to get that last shot off. They had a chance to beat Northeastern on the road. That would have been 3 straight wins for them.
Yeah, and it was a game that Northeastern had for a lot of it. They had a double-digit lead for a while and at the half, but Elon, especially with the way that they shoot the 3 ball, they're never out of a game.
Simpkins again. Here's a 3. And goes right into the hands of Jaco Fritz. 16-point lead for Hofstra here. Catch and shoot. And off the mark from Tyler. Another offensive board. Count the bucket and the foul for Jaco.
Jaco Fritz doing a great job of working for position on that 3 ball from Thomas. And Jaco Fritz telling the Elon front court to hit the weight room. Fritz, what a great physical finish inside. He's played a terrific first half. Already up to 8 points, 6 rebounds, on double-double watch for sure.
Tallest broadcast partner I've ever had, and that overtakes you.
That's saying something. I didn't know I'd get overtaken.
What are you, 6'7"?
6'6".
6'6"?
Yeah.
6'7" with shoes on?
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Good day.
Not Fritz's 6'10", though, that's for sure. Not quite there.
Well, we did the preseason, playing with pride. Spanning the Unispan. We're preseason walking and talking, and I'm just looking up the entire time. My neck was hurting.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. Fritz is not happy with that call, and honestly, I agree with him because he was working for position really well around Sam Sherry. He was using his body, not his hands, to work in front the post, and I don't know. I thought he was getting low and doing. That's exactly how you teach to front the post.
Since we're talking about Jaco, I just have to mention, shout out to Hofstra Athletics and their graphic design team. One of the funniest I've ever seen. It's another good take from TK Simpkins, but one of the funniest things I've ever seen was saying slaying the dragon after their win against the Drexel Dragons on Thursday. Yeah. And, of course, who's the kid in it? It's Jaco Fritz.
That's right.
Thomas from the corner. Nothing but net for Tyler Thomas.
And in this first half, those corner threes have been there the entire day, as it looks like TK Simpkins picking up the offensive foul. So Hofstra's going to get it back, and again on the nice extra feed to the corner. And Tyler Thomas, I said it before, I think he's going to start to heat up. And Hofstra, wow, after a little bit of a shaky first few minutes, it has been complete and utter domination.
You want to talk about balance in this game, Will, and that's something we've always been talking about with this Pride team throughout the season. As Dubar with a catch-and-shoot three of his own, it's off the mark. Good hustle, almost gets it right back. But you have Dubar and Fritz with 9 points, 8 from Carlos, 8 from Thomas, 5 from Plotnikov. I mean, that's really balanced scoring for this group. Take to the rack by Nick Darn.
Good take by Dorn, but you're right. When Hofstra's as balanced scoring as they are a dangerous team, and one that nobody wants to see in Washington, D.C. in a couple weeks.
Dubar, easy money from the elbow.
And that's what we talked about, Dan, because again, it's pick your poison when the ball gets into the high post. That time they elect to let Dubar take that mid-range jumper, and he said, that's fine, I'm going to take it. So Hofstra just totally dominating this zone, and another offensive foul on Elon.
Back-to-back offensive fouls, giving empty-handed possessions to the Phoenix, who trail by 20 in this game, but Speedy Claxton still not happy about some of the fouls on his end. One thing you will be happy about
for the Pride, who have had as many contributors, and even whether it's guys that have been here, that have transferred in, is I believe I think all 5 of them did transfer in.
Yeah,
so
correct.
It also is a testament to this coaching staff and Speedy Claxton and how they've used the transfer portal.
And they made a change just about 2 years ago. First, they brought in they thought would be the best guys, and then last year, Speedy Claxton said, I wanted to build a true team. We saw that with some of the other guys on the floor, Bryce Washington being one of them. These guys who really understood their role and what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Kick ball off of Pratt. Will be 22nd on the timer and stay with the Pride. Thomas coming over from his years at Sacred Heart, top player there for a number of years, and Dubar transferring from Iowa State. Canisius for Jaco Fritz after 4 great years, and a little look inside to Fritz. I don't think he was ready for that one.
But you're right, Dan. How many times do we see in basketball where you could have a really talented roster that doesn't necessarily play well together? But I mean, the last couple years you've seen guys that are filling specific roles and know their role and fill it well, and that's why they have been as good as they've been, Hofstra, and again at the end of the season look as good as they have.
Simpkins, nice pass inside to Campbell, who gets fouled on the way up. They'll get Carlos on the foul. 6th team foul. Excuse me, 7th team foul, so actually puts him in the bonus.
Well, TK Simpkins has been a really impressive player today, and because on a team like Elon, who they don't look to penetrate a ton, and they're not super effective driving the ball. Simpkins is that guy. He is that one guy for them, and he's done a good job. He's beaten the Hofstra guards off the dribble a little bit, and maybe because of the other shooters around for Elon, there's not going to be as much help into the paint because you're more cognizant of the 3-ball, and Simpkins has taken the opportunities that he's been given and played a really nice game.
A tough 0 for 2 trip. This team struggled at the line against Northeastern. Actually, a 1 for 6. Talk about a friendly home roll for Tyler Thomas.
That's the shooter's roll for Thomas. He's got such great touch as guy who's as good of a shooter as he is a given, but we love to see that touch. 3-4 bounces on the rim, and it drops.
Lead is up to 22. Elon has had leads in this game. Another board here for the Pride. They love to run in transition. Carlos probing. Goes baseline. Gets to Fritz and was fouled. Jaco with 9 points, 6 rebounds. That's only his 2nd miss.
Yeah, he's had a huge half, and That possession was a lot of Jaquan Carlos just dribbling around until he could see a window, and finally he was able to get one to Jaco Fritz, who again, Fritz is played a tremendous half so far, looking to get into double digits for points.
You want to talk about a guy who's been here one season and has made such a big impact off the floor too. I mean, he's just a big fan favorite. Anybody who has ever gotten to know Jaco Fritz knows just what kind of a person he is, just a truly genuine guy who loves being here, loves this decision, loves talking to young fans and helping them with their games too.
Mm-hmm. For sure, and that's, again, that's why when we talk about looking for portal fits, not just necessarily talents, I think Jaco Fritz, for all of those reasons, is a perfect example of that.
It's actually funny, when he was doing the women's basketball game with us, when he was on the broadcast, Will, a nice take, and Simpkins again inside. This time, good job by the Pride to steal it away. And then Pratt grabs it right back, keeping it up. Simpkins to the rack, and he's fouled. He'll be 2 free throws upcoming.
Well, that time, Simpkins, it's the second time we've seen him go down behind the play. And that time it gave them an advantage. He was there for the home run ball. Washington does a good job getting back on the play, and I think that's a foul Hofstra will probably take, and making Simpkins earn it from the line.
Well, like I was saying with Jaco, though, you know, right, he works broadcast with us. Tons of fun, obviously, something new, try something new. Had a chance to hang out with some fans after the game, and one of them actually being a friend of mine's daughter, who's here, actually sitting next to me right now, Julia Greco, and she had her best basketball game on that Tuesday.
Go figure.
She did. Leading scorer in the game, by the way. She's just new to the game. And she said the reason why was because of Jaco Fritz. I texted Jaco that. A was so ecstatic to hear that.
Yeah.
He's like, I was, well, me, I love it. Just a happy guy.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. And Jaco Fritz, he's a smart basketball player. I would definitely recommend young fans watching the little things that Fritz does.
Here's Robinson from way downtown again. Well, I think every one of his three-point attempts have been from NBA range.
I'd love to see just like his total shot chart for the year and see how far back they go.
Sherry, good take to the rack. His first 2 points today. A guy who normally averages 10.
Yeah, Sherry's been quiet, but he's very effective around the rim. About 69% from the floor at the rim this season.
Right, taking their time here in this possession. Carlos puts it on the floor, kicks out, Dubar for 3. It's off the mark, long rebound. Simpkins is there. So there's about a 5-second differential between shot and game clock. So we'll see what the Phoenix want to do. Down 19 points due to a huge run by the Pride. And they're going to get a foul here. Talking about a bailout foul for Hofstra. It's Jaco Fritz, after, of course, we're saying such nice things about the young man. Ends up taking the foul and in the bonus, so free throw upcoming for McKinnon.
I think they called it on Robinson down low, working for position.
You're correct, they did.
And I was about to say, and that's the part of Keyshawn Robinson's game that's we know he can shoot, we know he can score. I think defensively, that's how he's going to take the next step and getting stronger. And in that case, but he'll get there. He's a young kid. I'm certainly excited to see him down the road. But when you play against a guy like Max McKinnon, who's a solid 6'5", 205 in the post, that's a mismatch that Elon was looking to exploit.
Tough first half here for McKinnon, 1 of 5 from the floor. But what a week he has had. CAA Player of the Week, averaged just a little under 18 points per game, shot 60%. That 2-in-1 week. The Thunder from down under, Max McKinnon, Rookie of the Year a season ago. Timer is off. Jaco Fritz to the basket. Good contact there from Sherry with no foul. Jaco didn't agree with it.
I mean, it was an excellent find from Carlos. I don't know. It's hard to see from Fritz. Certainly thought he got fouled, but
in the first half alone, Hofstra coming out real strong showing here in the first half after a game where Took a while for them to even get to 50, but that was just really both sides, a 69-57 win against Drexel. A Thursday night game. 2.4 on the clock. Here's Fritz, and he was looking for Dubar. Thomas shoots it. No shot. They're going to say it was too late. Lots of contact there as well. But that's the half. A 17-point lead for Hofstra.
A couple of times. So it's been the name of the game, defense to offense. Guys?
Well, something else that has been important has been the points in the paint, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. 18 points in the paint for Hofstra in that first half. And that's an area, Will, where we know has never been the strength of this group in terms of size down low, but that is super, super important as we head almost to March.
Yeah, and matchups make games, and that's you take what the defense gives you, and that's what the Pride have done a great job doing in that first half. We'll see if they can keep it going for another 20 minutes to close this one out.
Same starting five for the Pride as we begin the second half of action, as Sherry gets underneath but turned over. On the other end, it's Dorn, McKinnon, Sherry, Simpkins with his 13 points, and Harrell. Jaquan Carlos, excellent first half that he had. Yeah, the numbers didn't really jump off the page with the 2 assists, but did so many other really good things with the basketball. Here he finds Tyler Thomas, who gets denied from behind. Simpkins was there again. Here he runs in transition, and he's fouled.
Yeah, TK Simpkins just all over the place. That time they get the ball into the high post, and Simpkins, being the smart player that he is, notices, hey, the shot clock is winding down. This is going to be a shot that Thomas is going to look to take. And Thomas, with a turnaround, not really thinking about Simpkins at all. And Simpkins came from behind for the block and got out in transition, got back to the free throw line. I mean, where would Elon be in this game without TK Simpkins?
I mean, you look at what he could possibly do for Billy Taylor going forward. I mean, just a slasher to the basket, speedy, and put on a little more size. Only a sophomore, so he's still got a number of years left to continue to build.
As a lot of this team is very young as well. A lot of core guys in that sophomore class.
Taylor went 8-24 last year. Already surpassed that win total with 12-16. They're looking to still have their first winning season in some time. Last time that the Phoenix have had a winning season was that COVID shortened season where they went 10-9. Plotnikov, little turnaround, Jay, from the stripe.
Plotnikov finding the hole in the zone, sits down right there. That time it wasn't Thomas. They put Plotnikov in the high post, and he just turned around, easy money.
Simpkins, again, nothing but net. Boy, he has been special.
He is balling today for Elon, and the rest of his teammates really haven't been, but TK Simpkins has showed up in a big way.
Carlos inside, Dubar with the two-handed flush.
Dubar loves hanging out in that dunker spot, especially in his own offense, and Carlos knows where to find him, and Dubar, there's not many players that can jump with him in this conference.
Dubar on Simpkins, gets past him, now gets doubled into the corner, and maybe a block by Dubar. Hofstra can run. Carlos now inside. Here's Plotnikov up and under. Boy, that vision up high, it's super impressive.
The no-look feed was so pretty from Jaquan Carlos. He was looking to the left wing while he was throwing the pass right under the basket. He's just masterful, especially against a zone. Carlos is a zone killer.
Leading the entire conference in assists. You can probably expect his name on an all-conference list in a couple of weeks. McKinnon for 3, it's off the mark, and Nicole Day for Max McKinnon continues. $13 for Dubar, 10 for Fritz and Thomas, 9 for Plotnikov. And the Pride shooting 54% from the field. Kickball. And that'll allow the Phoenix to sub in. Here's JC again.
Oh, the no look to Plotnikov down low, and you mentioned him seeing in the all, potentially seeing him on the all CAA teams. He was on the CAA all defensive team last year. He should be. I know that it's a little bit unconventional because he's averaging under 10 points per game. He's just a different player, averaging over 6 assists per game. You got to see him on those lists. He's got to be there.
Tyler Thomas connecting on the triple. That's his 4th.
Tyler Thomas getting hot once again. Still 3 of 7 from behind the arc.
Sorry, well, I added 1. I said 4th. You're right, it's his 3rd.
Fourth field goal total. You could act like you said that.
There we go. See, you always got my back. Pratt, run the floor. McKinnon gets the friendly touch. And it's going to be an offensive foul. Basket still counts, but they'll give the foul to Kendall Campbell.
It's only McKinnon's 2nd field goal of the day. They've done such a great job on him. That time he gets the shooter's roll. But overall, it's been a strong defensive game and a great game plan to shut down Max McKinnon, and that is what Hofstra has done so far.
Bounce pass to Dubar. Really loses a handle. Gets it right back to Carlos between the rings. Quarterback of this offense. Plotnikov to Carlos. Little spin move. Hard pass underneath. Here's Fritz, and he was at a tough angle underneath the rim.
Couldn't finish, but that's what you want to see offensively.
So nearly steals it away. Here's Irvin, the 3-point shooter for the Phoenix. Misses. McKinnon, and can't get the visitor's roll. Another rebound for the Pride. They've been excellent on the glass. 27 rebounds in this game compared to the 15 for Elon. Thomas. This wide right. And this will go the other way when we return. Hofstra continues their hot ways here in the second half. They lead 56-37. Stay with us, championship. And for Elon, they want to be out of that first round game because then it takes 4 to get yourself a title.
Absolutely, and when you look at it, it's
5.
It's so hard when you're put in that position where you got to win 5 games in 5 days. There's not many teams that have done it, and not just in the CAA tournament, but in any tournament, because a lot of times you'll have that kind of format. So it's really important to get out of that.
Thomas steals the ball. Dubar slips and kind of slows down the transition. Just bad at math today, Will. It's President's Week break. That's got to be why.
I guess so.
Tyler Thomas from the corner, a long 2.
That's not even bad defense. Good hand in the face of Tyler Thomas, but he's a big-time player, and he makes those shots.
Thomas coming in as the 4th leading scorer in the entire nation, leading the country also in makes and attempts from beyond the arc. And this will be a foul against Hofstra. We'll see who they charge it to.
Let's take another look at that. I mean, that's pretty good defense with Thomas, a tough mid-range jumper, but Thomas all season has shown that he can hit a lot of those tough shots. But I also think we've seen the way that he's improved his passing as the season has gone along. I think it's number one, it's of course helped the team, but 2, it's helped him. It's helped the quality of shots that he does get, and I think it's really opened up this offense the way that he's been a willing passer. The guy's always got his head up and looking for teammates as well, and it makes this offense just so much more dangerous. And when you have the bounce scoring that they do today, this is a tough team to play that nobody wants to play.
Oh, look, there was a little area where there was a lull, and there's one of those good passes again. Fritz can't get it to go. There was a lull where he was struggling scoring the basketball. Now he's kind of back to what he was doing for the majority of this season. McKinnon, nice little turnaround with the right hand.
And when McKinnon's 6'5", he's bigger than a lot of guards that he'll play against, so that shot is going to be there in the mid-range, a little floater, using his height to his advantage.
Underneath, Dubar trying to make the extra pass. Going to give it to Elon. Speedy Claxton not happy about it. And here's Max McKinnon.
Yeah, McKinnon matched up. He's got a couple-inch advantage over Tyler Thomas. So when he rises up with that right hand, not much Tyler Thomas can do about it.
Brisbane, Australia is where he's from. Second-year player for Billy Taylor. Jarred loose. McKinnon has it, heaves a pass up, and it's picked off by Tyler Thomas like a safety in football.
I was just about to say that, too.
Great minds think alike.
That's right.
We've seen a lot of passes today kind of looking like football plays.
It's been a fast game.
That's one of them. Thomas, turn around, no good. Dubar hustles. It's the fresh 20, and then he runs right over Harrell. Oh, excuse me, Campbell, no call. 3 on its way, and it's tea time from the corner.
Tyler Thomas has really heated up today. He's up to 18 points. His 4th 3 of the game is another, just the consistency that Thomas has shown down the stretch has been remarkable.
Another 20-point lead for Hofstra. Here's Pratt down the right lane, skip pass, and offensive foul.
Absolutely. Jaco Fritz making more winning plays, drawing the charge. Let's get another look at the excellent skip from Platnikov, and Tyler Thomas knows he hasn't had a lot of super open shots like that this year, being the #1 guy on every team scouting report, but he'll take advantage of them when he gets them.
Entered today with 2,204 points in his collegiate career. Here's a contested triple, and boy, that was right through instantly. Time out, Elon.
Are you kidding me? Tyler Thomas.
They not like to be amped up. It says it gets him too out of whack. He likes to be calmed down throughout the game. And it kind of compares to his game as well, as he's a calm, cool, collected guy, smooth in the mid-range shots, and never lets anything speed him up. So it's jazz music for Tyler Thomas. Guys?
No question, Will. I mean, you really think about that. That's a perfect comparison by Gabe. That's what he does. It's, you know, there's points here or there where, you know, you have that loud trumpet. Maybe that's a big shot from downtown or something every now and again. But otherwise, it's very even keel, but still fun to watch.
And I think that perfectly describes the demeanor of Tyler Thomas on the basketball court. He never gets too high, never gets too low, especially during the season when he had some of those ruts in the middle of the season. And he's a guy that was able to stay confident in himself, continue to do the work that he certainly puts in, and that's why he's you know, a likely CAA Player of the Year candidate.
There's going to be a foul against Hofstra.
Nice look inside to Campbell on the roll.
Well, huge story there. I really like that story from Gabe Zoda.
Yeah.
Also on his senior night, by the way.
Yes.
We always give a shout out to the WRHU as an alum myself, and you.
And
so we have to, of course, give out a shout out to them. But final home game here for them. That's a big deal. Last home game at the MAC. I remember mine.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I had my last MAC game at the MAC, and then they
and then we just called you right back in.
Well, not only that, then they stunned Rutgers in the NIT, and then it was like, all right, well, we're not going to have a home game anyway. Just kidding. You're playing Cincinnati at the MAC during the weekend. So that was a great experience as well.
Jaco to the rack. He's fouled by McKinnon. I had the same exact thing. Hofstra ended up hosting the CBI.
Okay.
It was not the same atmosphere as the NIT, but either way, we'll talk more about it, not the CBI, when we return. Under 12 minutes to go here. Final home game for the Pride, 64-43. We'll be right back. When you look back at the last couple of years, remember Charleston came here in that really weird game where it was you knew they were locked in as the 3-6, but I mean, these last 2 games, I mean, it matters. It matters for seeding, and it matters for where you're going to go for the conference tournament.
Yeah, it matters. It matters a ton, especially as we've talked about it early in the broadcast as well. But the playing 4 games and playing 4 games in 4 days versus playing 3 games in 3 days, or of course the goal is to do that. It's a massive difference, especially for a group like Speedy Claxton's bunch that they don't have a ton of depth. They rely a lot on their starters minutes wise, and so that avoiding that extra game is so big. And Fritz missed off the mark on the first one, but that's what makes this game so important. And after an emotional win over Drexel at home with you could say, oh, like, are they looking ahead to UNCW and Charleston? Not this group. This group is too mature. They've been there before. They have a coaching staff who's been there before, and no letdown at all. It's been all business from the jump for the Hofstra Pride.
And that's why when they did struggle those first couple of games of the year, Speedy Claxton even said it in postgame. He was like, we got to not worry about this. Everyone's going to make a big deal about it. It's not. McKinnon, nice runner in the lane, comes up short. But, you can't worry too much about it because really this is who's the best team that weekend that will end up going to the NCAA tournament. And that's, one of the good and bad things about this conference.
And who's a perfect example of that is Kendall Campbell going down by the basket. A perfect example of that, Dan. How about the last winning season that the Elon Phoenix had? They went in as in the COVID year as the number 8 seed into the CAA tournament. They beat Hofstra in the semifinals, and they made a run to the CAA championship game, losing by 7 to the eventual champion Drexel that year. So you're right, it's all about who is hot for 1 week in Washington, D.C., but of course the whole season is geared towards playing your best basketball going into that and putting yourself on the best possible path that you can.
And Campbell landed weird, a little slow to get off, went to the training staff. Thomas, no-look pass, right back to Tyler Thomas from the wing. That's off the mark. Fritz can't get the board. Still stuck on 8 rebounds. McKinnon. Seems like all of his shots, Will, are just a little bit short today. Plotnikov with the two-handed dunk.
Way to run the floor by German Plotnikov, and Carlos, once again, it sounds like a broken record, but he finds an open man in transition for a layup or dunk. He's done it all year.
7th time this season he has been in double figures, 10th in his career. A lot of it's really come over the last few weeks. McKinnon for 3. Short again. Can't get the bounce. Carlos up ahead. Look out. Here's Dubar. A spinning dunk.
Oh, he's raising the roof at the MAC. Dubar leaks out in transition, and that's where you think of when as soon as I saw him leaking ahead, I was thinking showtime, and he delivered.
D-Stone Dubar, he loves to get the fans going. How about that young man and what he's been able to do? Well, I mean, he's always been a real nice player. Always said, what is he going to do to make that next jump? Well, here's that German Plotnikov dunk, but it's just how can he elevate his game even more?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, get another look at that. Little 360 from Mr. Dubar, but he's a guy that it's always been the talk like, all right, he's a good player. When can he take the jump to be great? And because he's always like, you've heard the term so much when describing Dubar as well, he's got an NBA body, and he does.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of putting. There's a lot of people who have NBA bodies in college basketball. There's not a lot of people who are polished enough to with their skills to be as quality of a player as he is, and in particular this year, jumping up from 10.3 points per game up to 17.7, up your rebounds by 2 per game. Efficiency is up, and of course his defense is up too. So Dubar, he's the X factor going into the year, no doubt about it. For Hofstra, for them to have a good season, Dubar needed to be a real key role into that and take a major jump up, and that he has.
Zele Pratt on the triple. He's only one of 8 players in Division I basketball, Will. As Fritz gets fouled and sandwiched between 2. One of only 8 players in Division I basketball to average at least 17.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, but this is where his game is so special because it's from the perimeter, and 2 3-pointers a game. One of only 8 players in basketball, and all season long, he's really been one of just 2, 3, 4. I mean, he's been right in that bunch.
And that shows why his skill set is so valuable, and especially in a mid-major conference. In the CAA, you just don't see it very often. To see a guy who's 6'8", a physical rebounder, he's got a big body and can also shoot, who can make 2 threes a game from 40% from outside, and it's not like they leave him open either.
He came in with 4 years of eligibility. Listen, he got an option next year if he wants to continue playing, whether that's here, hitting the portal, or going to play professionally. But no question, this has been his best season as a collegiate basketball player. As DeAndre Smart knocks down the triple, only his second three-pointer of the season.
Yeah, he's got 78% of his field goal attempts have come at the rim this year. So stretching from outside, knocks it down.
His numbers have kind of dropped back in terms of minutes. Started 7 straight towards the end of non-conference play and beginning of CAA play. Bryce Washington. Bryce is nice from the wing.
That's unfair because Carlos, he was almost like a running back. He drives the paint, makes 3 guys miss, and still finds Washington, who does a nice job relocating on the wing for a 3.
Lead is up to 24. Simpkins gets tripped up on his way to the basket. Looks to be all right.
Simpkins is, again, he's been an impressive player in the way that he's been able to attack the basket. Today, he's caused a lot of problems defensively, gotten to the line 8 times, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He's been impressive.
Pratt to Simpkins. Dorn. Screen set by Sherry. Simpkins from the top of the key. And it's Dubar who pulls in rebound number 8, along with his 15 points.
Carlos at 8 assists as well.
Looking for number 9, and he gets it.
Yeah, that's just too easy. Carlos penetrates the zone. Thomas gets into the perfect spot running the baseline, and Thomas shows he can finish around the rim too, up to 23.
Darn off the mark. Carlos to Washington and just misses on the pass. Looking for the home run, but the Pride are off.
That's why they've been 11 of 26 from 3, a 42% mark for the Pride, and something that's become quite normal, I guess you could say, for them, for shooting from 3, 37% for the year for them.
Hofstra's been one of the better teams in the country on assist on made buckets. Entered in today 75th in the nation, assisting on 55% of their baskets. Well, today that number's a lot higher, 22 of 29. Get your calculators out if you want to, but that's a lot more than 55%.
It means sustainable offense too.
McKinnon, wide open 3, and that's off the mark. Simpkins gets the ball back with the fresh 20, and that one rattles home.
I don't know if TK Simpkins coming into today thought, you know, I'm just going to start taking more 3s, because he knocks down, that was a deep 3 for a guy who hasn't shot the ball well this year from 3.
He is up to 22 points. His career high is 27 over a year ago. And season high was against Delaware. Sherry straight away 3. Nothing but net.
And Sherry doesn't get a lot of looks from 3, but when he does, he connects. He's 10 of 22 coming in, so when he gets, especially when he gets his feet set, it's kind of walking into it, a very natural motion. And that's a good-looking stroke from 3.
Tyler misses. McKinnon with the board. Down 20. Here's JC again. Lobs it up there, and this one Sherry read all the way.
And Speedy Claxton still definitely coaching up 20, not thrilled, looking for the bounce pass from Carlos instead of the lob.
Thomas, in and out. Stuck on 23 points for number 23. McKinnon, this is again just 3 of 14, 1 of 8 from downtown.
Yeah, a lot of frustration today for Max McKinnon, and it was a really good player. You can see the frustration on his face, and he's an excellent player and #1 scout for teams, and Hofstra's done a great job on him, and he hasn't had very many easy looks from the perimeter. And when Hofstra can take him away, it's a lot of this offense. That's why Elon is 37% from the floor.
Dubar gets fouled.
Yeah, Pratt clearly fouled him from behind, and that little dump into the high post, starting into the mid-range jumper, has been there all day for Hofstra, and that time they've switched a lot of who's going to go in there. That time it was Dubar, and Dubar gets himself to the line.
He's only 70% shooter, has really improved his free throw shooting this season. He's hit at least multiple threes in 21 of 28 games coming into today. Just 1 for 4 today, though. Sinks both from the stripe, and the lead is back to 22. Horn, McKinnon, cuts through the lane. Simpkins clanks off back iron. And Dubar there for his 9th rebound. Thomas catch and shoot 3, wide right.
You don't want to force there if you're Tyler Thomas. He's natural walking into the 3, but I think he could have worked for a better shot there.
McKinnon hounded by Carlos, and they're going to get him on the foul.
Yeah, Carlos definitely did. It was a clean strip from Jaco Fritz, and I think me and you included, Dan, we would have loved to see a Jaco Fritz fast break, but you could watch his left arm pulling McKinnon a little bit. I think that's a pretty easy call, but one could only imagine what Jaco Fritz would do. I mean, would he pull a D-Stone 360? I don't know.
He's European. He's a little more straightforward.
Just the normal tomahawk, we think?
Yeah, I think the regular, yeah. I could see like it's regular two-handed. That's it.
What if he could surprise us all?
He's not a flashy guy. He doesn't even know how to wear a tie.
That is true.
Well, no look from Bryce Washington. JC misses, gets the ball back. Carlos again to a cutting Tyler Thomas, and tapped in by Jaco Fritz.
Carlos is laughing about it too, but Fritz once again on the offensive glass, doing a great job. And another fast break for the Pride.
Might cost him his 10th assist. Still stuck on 9, looking for 10 now. Dubar is off. And gonna get over the back. Look at this one more time.
Well, great pass to the cutting Thomas. He'd have gotten some contact there. Ball just sits on the rim and before it decides what it wants to do. And luckily, Jaco Fritz was there as he has been on the offensive glass all night. 6 offensive rebounds. He's now got a double-double. 14 points, 10 rebounds for the big man Jaco Fritz in his last game at the MAC.
You know that part in Space Jam where they putt and the ball's just sitting right there?
Yeah.
And you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and all of a sudden Bugs Bunny's underneath and pulls it. That's what it felt like happened.
Yeah.
The Monstars are at the MAC tonight.
Yeah.
Space Jam, the original, by the way.
The original,
the only good one. No offense, LeBron. Sherry hits the second, 79-57 as we approach the 4-minute mark.
We only acknowledge the MJ Space Jam.
Yeah. How old were you when that movie came out?
I don't even know.
I don't think you were born. I'm serious. I don't think you were born.
I'm not sure. Like, obviously, I'm familiar with that. I don't know. I'm not sure when it was made.
You weren't born. Wow, you're going to make a lot of people feel really old.
Yeah,
Will.
perhaps.
Dubar for 3. That misses. I'm getting a little clunky here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they're settling quite a bit in the last couple minutes, and for an overall game that's been brilliant, nitpicking a little bit, but see if they can get back to it. Maybe get some guys in the last 3.5.
That's 3 games left. Right now they're ahead of Hofstra based on the tiebreaker. They split, but then that second tiebreaker comes in, and that's right now where they have an advantage. Then you have for now. Then you have Towson, who's right behind them. Delaware's in it. It's Tyler Thomas up to 25. But Stony Brook and Monmouth. Monmouth actually has the hot tiebreaker over Hofstra if they somehow get there. It's just all these weird scenarios that I can't lay out any of it to you because we don't have enough time left.
Yeah, I will say, at least on the Jaco Fritz coming off here at the MAC for the first time, and what a great finale for Fritz. 14 points, 10 rebounds as well. Closing out what a great season for number 11. As D-Stone Dubar will potentially get the same treatment.
And when you have yourself a nice comfortable lead here in the second half that allows you to do this. Leo Farmer is going to come in for Bryce Washington. And then Tyler Thomas, the last one. As many rise to their feet for Tyler Thomas. What a career he has had here at Hofstra. Just remarkable stuff, what he's been able to bring in as a transfer, but just really what he's done for this program the last 2 years. And all those guys and what they have been able to do for Speedy Claxton and Bunch.
Yeah, it can't be overstated because as common as it is now, transferring in, it's not easy. It's not easy to assimilate to a very specific way that Hofstra plays as well. As Henriquez firing away from deep. But, yeah, just a lot of such a great impacts by this senior class. And, of course, Tyler Thomas getting a well-deserved ovation, and as well as the others. And even though JC got in on that as well, even though, you know, he's got some years left, thankfully.
Jaden Henriquez with the ball. First time coming here at the MAC. Now, his dad works here on campus. He's a walk-on. He's been coming to games since he's been a young kid out of East Meadow, New York, a former Jet town right next door. So only his second ever appearance, had 1 field goal attempt in his first appearance at North Carolina A&T. So a real cool moment for number 15 in white on the bottom of your screen there. 3 on its way, it's short, and Silas Sunday pulls in the board. Plotnikoff, Robinson, Henriquez for 3, banks it in! The Long Island kid delivers, and the fans are loving it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, he almost got the steal, too, on the other end. But
Will, I have to say, as one East Meadow alum to the next, we're all Jets here. That's the slogan. And Jaden Henriquez just nailed his very first collegiate point. You love those moments.
Awesome, awesome. We can get another look at that. Did he call it? Or it's just such a cool moment from Jaden Henriquez. Did he call bank? Did he not call bank? The world may never know.
Lefty will ask him.
I'm sure they will. But
here it is again.
Get another look at that. You can be the judge. He fires away and off the window.
These walk-ons are so important to every team's success because of what they do. I mean, those are your unsung heroes for a basketball team, a collegiate basketball team. Henriquez, who is very well respected on this team, really gets along with everyone. That's such a cool moment for him.
And not only that, like just the role that they play in practices as well on the scout team. And I mean, how many of these really good shooters in the CAA has Henriquez played in practice that have made Hofstra play better against them? So all these guys, it takes a whole team from the top to the bottom. So taking another one.
From the logo this time, just misses. Why not? Silas Sunday with a $1:22 to go, takes a dribble, and it's a travel. It's just fitting, though, and I'm going to rip on Kevin Dexter here a little bit. Kevin grew up at Levittown, right? Literally, we grew up actually less than like 2 miles from each other, not knowing each other until college. It wouldn't have been fitting that the kid from Levittown called the East Meadow kid's very first bucket. It had to be me.
It had to be you. You're the chosen one, Dan.
I'm sorry. It had to be me. And people at home are saying, can this guy stop?
Hey, are you on senior day?
I'm a 10-time senior, Will. Hull for 3, off the mark, under a minute to go. Here's Robinson running the floor now. Let's see if they want to give it back to Henriquez. They do. Nice skip pass. Khalil Farmer. Nothing but net.
Well, Farmer gets in on the fun. Another good steal and a great screen on the bottom of the zone by Silas Sunday. And Farmer knocking down the corner 3 ball for what likely will be Hofstra's last bucket here at home this year.
Well, Hofstra loves playing at the MAC. We know that. Just 2 losses this year here. And against some tough teams, Charleston and Princeton, which was the first D1 game of the season. Henriquez, one more time.
Bank is open on a Saturday. He loves it too. What
The
a great
celebration.
moment.
That's you have to have a good celebration.
Yeah.
When you have your first collegiate bucket.
And I don't think the camera picked it up either, but when he was back on defense as well, he just had a huge smile on his face as well, playing defense, knowing that, hey, I'm into a score sheet in a Division I game. That's got to be so cool.
2 free throws on its way, and then Hofstra will dribble it out. So for the Pride, it would be win number 18, win number 11 inside of CAA play. Their final one here at the MAC this season. 2 weeks away, they'll be down in our nation's capital, but still a lot to be determined. Where will they be seated? But for now, they give the hometown faithful something to cheer about. An 87-64 victory on senior night. The Pride win.
Couldn't have drawn it up any better, Dan.